My name is Patrick Foley, and this is my review of Shaken and Stirred, the Story of Flair Bartending for UK Film Review. So Shaken and Stirred covers a world that I didn't know much of anything about, but something that I had certainly seen many a time in bars across the country. Flair bartending is the act of bartenders juggling bottles, glasses, shakers, anything you can think of really whilst making a drink. It's the classic kind of cool guy thing you always see when you're out and about, or you see if there's ever a montage of being in a swanky sort of nightclub where they're flipping bottles, juggling them behind their heads, all this sort of stuff in the act of making a cocktail. And Shaken and Stirred covers a world that, as I said, was unfamiliar to me, which is that there is a competitive element to this. There are leagues set up for this. There is the Flair Bartending Association that runs competitions across the world for bartenders who want to partake and win prizes and recognition for their ability with the tricks and artistry of Flair bartending itself. The film documents the history of Flair bartending and how it came to be a sort of organised sport, essentially, as well as covering one of the competitions and the participants who are looking to win. It also looks at some of the challenges, some of the problems that exist in the world of Flair bartending. A big part of the film is spent on issues like sexism and misogyny that female participants face, and other parts focus on financial difficulties and difficulties in attracting new participants and new advocates of the sport. I found this film really interesting and really entertaining as well, covering a world that I knew nothing about. And when a documentary can grip you to something that you're very unfamiliar with, you've got little knowledge of, and can clearly and concisely bring you into that world, tell you why it matters, tell you who the main players are, and also give you a really interesting and entertaining way of looking into that world, that is an automatic mark of success as far as I'm concerned. I was really also impressed with the level of analysis and the sort of critical eye that the film takes over Flair bartending. The director, Deborah Richards, clearly has a way of making her subjects feel relaxed enough to give the real rundown of their thoughts and feelings on the world in which they have engaged. There are times where the film does actually pose quite a bleak view of the Flair world. The women's experiences are somewhat depressing to hear, even though some of them have overcome them, and they're not shy about making it known how it's impacted their confidence. And then some of the issues in terms of attracting new people, the financial difficulties, the rivalries between the different organisations are spoken about really openly by some of the big players involved, who are honest about their opinion that it's been difficult and don't necessarily see a golden bright future coming down the line, but clearly are willing to just speak openly because they care so much about this art form, this passion that they've devoted themselves to. There are moments where it gets a little bit hard to follow some of the main players, some of the cast. It does take a very wide view of the competitors, for example. And there are also moments where the film probably could be cut down a little bit. It is an hour and 40 minutes on the topic. And I think a big chunk of the second half of the film is focused on the contest that has been documented. And it almost feels a little bit staticky when it transitions to that. Viewers may actually find a bit more interest in the backgrounds and the story section, which is generally consists of the first half of the film establishing the competitors. But on the whole, I really enjoyed Shaken and Stirred. I'd recommend this documentary to anyone who has an interest in this kind of strange, unheard world, or any sort of niche interest, niche sports. Hearing people talk passionately about something which you didn't even know existed is always interesting to me. And Shaken and Stirred definitely finds some very engaging and entertaining subjects and interviewees who explain things really well and sell me on why Flair bartending is something worth preserving. So I definitely raise a glass or two to this film, and it will definitely make you want to hit up a bar and grab a cocktail sometime soon after watching it.